think it's really significant that today that we have reclaimed this space, the Rotunda, because it's got such historic significance. And also because it's great for us to get to know each other, and also because so far, you know, we've had to deal with the aftermath in terms of the trauma that many of us experience by ourselves. And I think it's really good to come together in this way. So what happened after March the 25th, I think it was actually that night, Dawn said she wanted to start a new party, blame Dawn, and she would be third on the list. She didn't want to be number one on the list, but anyway, if we get 5% of the vote and Dawn was third on the list, she'd be in Parliament. So, because you get about 6 people. But anyway, so we started at that point, and how did we come to get that first Zoom meeting? I must have put it on Speak Up for Women, and Tanya came on, and Janet and others. And we have been through a process. We came up with a constitution. We found out what we need to do to register as a political party, and we need 500 financial members, and we basically need to get that within a month, because otherwise we're going to miss the cut-off to be registered. And we already missed the cut-off to get the broadcasting allocation, so that was a shame. But anyway, and amongst our objectives, obviously, is to stand in the election, is to have on the ballot paper the Women's Rights Party symbol, and give people an option on the ballot to vote for this women's rights. So that's what our aim is, but also we want to try and influence the mainstream parties to change their hardline position on this, because what's been happening is that many of us made submissions to the, for example, the births, deaths, marriages, relationship, whatever, legislation, self-ID on the certificate, and there was apparently 70% of the submissions were against the loosening up the self-ID, yet every single MP in Parliament voted for it, every single one. And when people made submissions, they were treated with disdain by the women MPs. Here we fought to have a quota of women in Parliament, and what did they do? They dogged on us. And they treated people with disdain. So one of the things is, if anyone's brave enough to go out to New Lynn and stand against Deborah Russell, that would be brilliant, because she was one of the main perpetrators of the maltreatment of women who simply wanted to speak. So what happened here on March the 25th is just an accumulation of not letting women speak and not listening to us. And I guess one last thing about the toilets and the safe spaces, the changing rooms. There are lots of young women on that Women of New Zealand Facebook group. There's 2,700, and they seem to be mostly younger women, and they are very concerned about men, not necessarily males, because now, because of the changes in legislation and the loosening up, people think they have license, males think they have license to just come into women's spaces and just say that they're entitled to, because they're a woman, and they're not necessarily transitioning at all.
But they don't even have to say they're a woman,
no,
do they? They
just
can just think, well, the taboo has been broken.
That's right.
I'm a man, I'm just going to go in here and no one will say anything.
And the thing that gets me is that I used to go down, we were part of Air 2 Union, which was EPMU joined together with the service workers. I was from the service workers, which was predominantly women. And I worked mostly with Māori and Pasifika women and the service workers, cleaners and so on. We went in with the engineers union, you can imagine what a terrible experience that was. Probably shouldn't put that out publicly, but anyway, at the Air 2 office in Wellington, The toilets are all just this one lot of toilets. And I felt very uncomfortable with my male colleagues coming in while I was having a pee or the other. And the thing that got me about it was I didn't think for a minute they were going to attack me. I wasn't afraid of those male colleagues. I just felt uncomfortable, but nobody thought to ask me how I felt about it. As that's the way I think about it, that you could have men coming into your changing rooms. Okay, we're supposed to be inclusive, but they're excluding women who've been sexually abused. They're excluding women of different ethnic groups or different religions. Imagine if you're Muslim and you're in the changing room and a man comes in. But even in our culture, we don't get undressed in front of men who are not part of the family. I wouldn't get undressed in front of my grandkids. No way. So I just think that there is no listening or thinking about or even recognising that women might have concerns. That's what really gets me about it. Anyway, so Len is wanting me to give a plug for the party, I think. That we have to sign up 500 people.
How many have you got?
We think about 30, so we're a long way there.
Okay. Yeah.
So we didn't want to go out on all the social media groups until after today, because we didn't want anything leaking to the media that might tip them off about us reclaiming today. But we will be going out on all the Facebook groups and trying to sign people up. And I think it's quite exciting. Oh yeah. Not only do we have a constitution, but we have a policy platform, which Janet started the conversation, and we've spent hours and hours debating.
Yes.
And we're going to have a conference in June.
Yes, we are.
And we're doing actions. So we are a political party.
Absolutely.